keep it locked. This is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. Truth bombs that many never knew. We talking politics, everything up to the moon. Was the landing real or fake? I guess you'll never know. Let's talk, this is the Nate and Garrett Show, yeah. So lend me your ear, let's get it poppin'. You know that we keep it live, non-stoppin'. Educating, entertain, there ain't no doubt. After you listen, you'll be thinking way outside the box. From media dishonesty, never let them play you. Keep it authentic nowadays, many can't do. Unfiltered is how we do it. Make sure you stay locked in and tuned in, let's go. Had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. The Nate and Garrett Show.
And now, welcome to the Nate and Garrett Show. Prepare yourself to be transported to the furthest reaches of reality. As the hosts unravel the mysteries of the universe, the depths of the deep state, the truth hidden in plain sight, all while bringing you the news from this week. Please welcome your hosts, Nate and Garrett.
Why does it say, look, we can see something now. Can you hear us, box bar? Why would that change to disabled? That makes no sense. You're right. Are we going to have to just call it for the night and try again Monday? I don't think we have much of a choice, right? Well, if you guys could hear us, we apologize. We'll see you guys Monday. Now why would that be? Box bar, thanks for letting us know. We've obviously been talking for about 20 minutes. Oh, Ned. Yeah, Ned, can you hear Nate too or not? You guys missed about 20 minutes of hippie talk too, which is pretty unlike us. There's no way we can go back and get that is there? That's lost forever.
Yeah, that's lost forever. Oh, it looks like here we go. This is now I'm working.
All right, about 30 seconds. Can you guys tell us if you can hear Nate?
Yeah, I think they can. What do you think, dude?
I mean, if they can hear us, we can keep going.
Nothing from Nate still? I think.
Damn it. God, we have a lot of viewers right now, and
I feel like they should be able to hear me now. But Nate is now working. Okay,
perfect.
okay.
Yeah, I think we're on a lag. All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah, dang. Sorry about
You guys
that.
missed like 20 minutes of some hippie talk, really.
Yeah.
We were complaining about the 40-hour work week and how everyone's tricked. And we're complaining about city living and how it's not good.
Oh well, I guess it's working now.
Yeah.
How crazy.
Hey, do we end the stream right now and just restart without the intro music or anything? Or do we just keep going?
Let's just keep going.
Okay, screw
Who
it.
cares?
So the playback's going to be really messed up.
Yeah. The first
All
20
right,
minutes will be silent, but
So we're just got into talking. I know, for two
goddamn
capitalists,
hippies.
we were kind of taking the hippie side on some of that a little bit. I think I've told you numerous times, but I'm absolutely looking for an acreage. And I can't wait. The more I've seen about the supply chains getting messed up and everything, and just I'm gonna try being. I never was. I was never that prepper at all. I mean, I got guns and ammo, and I got some precious metals and stuff. But we would go to those Ron Paul speeches, and we go to like freedom seminars, and there'd be a huge percent of people there that were preppers.
Yeah.
That had like homesteads and stuff, and they're all about getting rid of their fiat and only having
Gold.
metals and all of that. And I just thought, like, geez, this is overboard. Yeah, I can go and do all this work of raising a chicken and spending the hours butchering it, or I can take $5 down to Walmart and get a chicken. But at the same time, those same people were telling us that we weren't going to be able to leave our houses without showing papers, and they were going to be forced to get vaccinated, and that whatever's happening.
Oh, and they were right, yeah.
And I was thinking that, God, you guys are just fucking crazy. And they were right. I was completely wrong.
And so now you're thinking about
everything
prepping.
Alex Jones has said is right. So yes, I'm thinking about going to get an
Well,
acreage.
now I have to report you to Facebook, Garrett. I've got to tell
how
them.
about that? Those Facebook groups, I'm like, for the old ladies that like enjoy doing canning and stuff, there's warnings saying like, do you know someone that's becoming too prepared?
Yeah, let us know. Like, why does Facebook want to know that, by the way?
Yeah, and it's none of your fucking business.
Yeah. All right, Garrett. Well, let's get to the story of the day.
Back on. We're talking about Nicki Minaj. I don't know if anyone's followed this.
Yeah.
But it's a weird story. And, I was talking to Nate that right now this Nicki Minaj thing's in the news again. But if you guys remember when COVID first started, before we even knew anyone that had it, Trump was already shutting down travel. And there's already 2 weeks to flatten the curve, even though I think a huge percent of people didn't even know anyone that contracted it. Somehow these celebrities were getting it. Tom Hanks was one of them. And I think there's more. And it's kind of like, Jesus Christ, I don't know anybody that has COVID. why are all these celebrities getting it?
Do you remember that basketball player that went and hit all the microphones during the press conference, right? Like early COVID, kind of joking around, haha, I have COVID.
And then touched them?
Yeah. And then like 2 days later, they said, oh, he did have COVID. And he's like,
right.
I think all that shit was bullshit. I don't believe that.
There was actually a Husker basketball team, the rest of this basketball team, that they wouldn't let leave like the arena because they were supposedly exposed and all of them had it and stuff.
The White House wants to call her to talk about blue
Spoiler
balls.
alert.
Yeah.
But like everybody all of a sudden, everybody mildly famous was getting COVID, and you knew nobody else in real life had COVID at that point. And then Nicki Minaj, I'm pretty sure on this, we have to look this up, but Nicki Minaj finally came out and said, "Hey guys, somebody came and offered me money to claim that I contracted COVID, and I won't do it."
See, I believe that.
You guys said no. And then all of a sudden, that was it. We don't hear about celebrities really getting COVID anymore, do we?
No, I mean, not really, no.
Compared to how many people in real life you know?
Right.
We went from knowing nobody in real life had COVID to all these celebrities. And even that was
weird.
For
sure propaganda pushing.
There was stuff going on with the Tom Cruise one. People were like, wait a minute. Look at the medication that's on that IV he's supposed to be taking.
Hanks.
That's not a medication you would give. All sorts of weird stuff.
There was a bunch of weird shit.
There really was.
There was some conspiracies around Tom Hanks at that time that were pretty interesting to me.
How about the SRC one?
Oh my God.
What is up with that?
I mean, to this day, that's bizarre as fuck.
We got to do a Wayfair show, even though it's kind of died. I think a lot of people don't know.
We'll have to do a Tom Hanks conspiracy show.
I think a Wayfair show. I think a lot of people kind of like vaguely know about Wayfair, but how many people know about the SRC thing?
Nobody.
And then the Tom Hanks connection to child porn.
Yeah, almost
nobody.
And
you actually went into a Russian webpage and typed it in, right? And it was bringing up like kids dressed scantily.
Oh yeah, it was. It was really gross. But also, if you typed that, well, I mean, it's too much to get into, but what it was, real quick, was Tom Hanks posted a thing and a picture from his Instagram, and it said SRC USA. And apparently, if you typed that into the Yandex search engine, it would bring up child porn. Okay?
Yep.
But after that story broke, instead of bringing up child porn, it started bringing up U.S. military pictures. And it was like the thing was that the military was arrested. See, this was all tied in with Q at the time.
And Tom Hanks had a weird post. It took a picture of a kid's glove, and it had a weird saying like, "This kid must have lost a hand. I bet it's really cold now." And the glove was like off-centered. But if you looked at like what it was if you use the law of threes, which photography people know what it means, if you look at right where it was, there was graffiti on the ground saying SRC USA.
Okay.
Which is like a keyword that people are using to pull up child porn.
Right.
On this search engine.
Yeah. So it was really disturbing, and we could do a whole conspiracy show just about that. Yeah, we'll have to. But let's get back to Nicki Minaj, man.
So
yeah.
then,
let's show this.
Tons of celebrities are supposed to be getting it. Nobody you know in real life. Nicki Minaj came out and said, these guys offered me money. No celebrities getting it. Everyone else is getting it. It dies for a long time. Nicki Minaj comes up. There's the gala coming up that AOC and stuff obviously went to. Nicki Minaj said something about not going because of pain in the ass to travel because of the vaccine mandates. And news ran a ton of fake news on this. I don't know if you're aware of that or if she's even going to talk about it. But they ran a ton of fake news saying Nicki Minaj is against the vaccine. That's why she's not going. She came out and said, no, that's not what I said. Here's what I truly said. But it wasn't enough. And then people were talking about her Twitter needed to be nuked and stuff. But here we go. Then I think it kind of catches up a little bit here.
Okay, so let me bring this back.
Yesterday, Nicki Minaj encouraged people to pray about a decision rather than being bullied.
All right, so let me read Nicki Minaj's tweet here. My cousin in Trinidad won't get the vaccine because his friend got it and became impotent. His testicles became swollen. His friend was weeks away from getting married. Now the girl called off the wedding. So just pray on it and make sure you're comfortable with your decision, not bullied. Okay? Firstly, Garrett, what do you think? Is it possible that her
All
cousin's
right,
friend
so I
got.
do gotta say, we've said this forever too. There is thousands of females coming out of the woodwork saying, my period has been messed up since I got the vaccine. There's tons saying they haven't gotten it since. A ton of people got together on Facebook to share their experiences and to basically say, what'd you guys do? What's helping? And Facebook came and nuked it. And they're saying, like, nope, the vaccine's well researched. It doesn't affect fertility or menstrual cycles. So basically, they're calling hundreds and hundreds of thousands of females liars. But it's against the narrative. So instead of just saying what it is, you don't believe in females and that the female's opinion means nothing. It's that they're crazy and anti-vax. But there's tons of, you see it on Reddit, you see it on a bunch of pro-vaccine web pages, people saying my period's messed up. But we were guaranteed that this has been studied. It doesn't hurt fertility. Well, just this week, finally, they came out. They admitted that they're doing studies and looking now on at least irregular periods. But it's funny.
Right,
now
the FDA
narrative's
is doing a
shifting.
study now on
Yep.
the
Which we
vaccine
were
causing
told
irregular
wasn't
periods.
needed because it's already done and it's already conclusive
Yeah.
that it doesn't affect it.
Pretty weird
But
that
what's
they're doing a
interesting
study
now
now.
is the narrative shifting. Now it's like, well, yeah, but females have issues with their periods all the time with no causes. So this is nothing. So it's funny to watch this narrative change and the people
They have to do everything they can to scramble and just say this is safe,
Yep.
it's safe,
And
even
so
though
if
there's
it-
tons of evidence that it's doing harmful shit.
So I think it's safe to say right now this absolutely affects menstrual cycles, which means that this affects fertility, which means if it's affecting fertility in the sex organs in females, why wouldn't it do the same thing in the males? So I think
Yeah.
this is a very likely chance of this.
Sure, I totally believe this could happen.
And
You know,
what
it's definitely
happens-
causing blood clots and messing with blood flow and shit. That can make you impotent.
And you know, when it happens, you're basically just told, well, there's no way we can connect this to the vaccine. That's it. Unfortunately, now science is so politicized. We know this because government scientists admitted they weren't looking at the lab leak theory back when they needed to get it done. You need to do that right away. But they didn't because they were worried about being called racist. So right there, we know when they say trust the science means nothing anymore. It's politicized.
Yeah.
If we actually had blind science right now, like what we should have, it would be very interesting for them to look at everything. Everything. We'll look at, see how many more spontaneous deaths we had, how many more fertility, all of this that they're not going to look at. How many more cancer, how many more depression, all this. Do you know they're running stories right now? I should have said this on Reddit. They read one saying like, despite the claims and thoughts otherwise, surprising, new studies show suicides did not spike in 2019. What do you make of that?
I don't believe that.
Do you know what that is? COVID didn't start until 2020. But
Oh,
they're running that.
yeah.
No, but it's not just you, it's everybody. They're running that for a reason to say, look, people, you go to the comments, people are
That
like,
is tricky.
the people in the comments going, well, of course, let's call it COVID-19. But like in
Yeah,
the U.S.,
yeah.
it hit till March and later 2020. People are saying, well, of course, people are staying home from work. They're spending more time with their family. They're not in their cars for all this time. But what they're not for telling you is this is propaganda.
2020. Yeah, that
it
is
wasn't here
propaganda.
in 2019.
Yeah,
Because it
what
was,
are the
that's
stats on 2020? Because it definitely spiked.
Yep, for sure.
And it's still going up.
I got to say, before 2020, I knew very little people that committed suicide. Now, unfortunately, I know a shit ton. And that's not a coincidence at all, of course.
It's really sad, especially for
Yeah.
young people.
It's heartbreaking. It's so
I
heartbreaking.
wish that any young person would be able to
But
have more foresight and to think this isn't forever, guys. Just calm down. Just wait it out and things.
You know, a
will-
lot of people just have
go
lost
up.
their livelihoods and everything they built up.
Yeah.
But how about that? Fact checkers really can't say anything because they're saying, what are you talking about? 2019, look, 2019, there wasn't a giant spike. And that they running stories with that being obviously being obtuse for a reason, for very obvious reasons why they're being obtuse. It is disgusting. And fact checkers, of course, are going to say nothing about it. In the comments were finally people saying like, you guys, this didn't start in 2019, but it's too late. This is already spread around. Now the narrative now
So now
is
people think that it didn't
suicides
cause
are
an
not spiked.
increase
In
in
fact, they're
suicides?
down. And that's the narrative now too.
What a joke, dude.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Yep.
into the decision.
Okay, so you and I both agree that it's very possible this dude had swollen testicles and impotency following his vaccine.
But,
I
you know,
mean,
she's
that doesn't
back-
mean that everyone who gets vaccines will get this side effect, but I'll
You'll
bet
see
I
people
believe
say
it.
that. People will say like, "Well, I have the vaccine and I'm fine. Go get the vaccine." Yeah,
Then
I got
I'll help.
COVID and I'm fine.
Yeah, no
So,
shit.
Well, that means nothing.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
That's a good point, dude.
Yeah, but you hear it all the time. But you know, I do got to say, they were fact checking this tweet as
Oh yeah,
false.
they were
How
fact
do they
checking.
know?
Nicki
Do they
Minaj.
go and check this guy's balls?
Good point. Yeah.
You
How
know,
does Facebook and Twitter know that her friend's balls didn't swell up?
When I first saw that the balls, I thought she was basically saying her testicles are too big, meaning she has too much balls to bow down and actually go to this thing. I thought she's like making a comment about how brave she was
the
going
Met
against
Gala?
the narrative.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, it's all right. So then she gets fact check,
Yep.
and then okay, and then she goes ahead and is it right after that they banned her
They
on
didn't nuke
Twitter?
her yet.
Okay.
People were calling for her. They didn't nuke her yet.
Okay, I'll play.
When they aiming at me against them,
Go to
me
the
against
next one.
enemies.
What's that?
Go to the next video, I think. She actually
Sweetheart,
talks in the
are
next
you out
one.
of your fucking
Nope,
mind?
Go to the next one, maybe.
I'm not.
Nicki
There it
Minaj
is.
said in a meeting with her management today, the White House invited her to come visit. They asked about a private meeting, but she said she thought it should be open and transparent. The White House did not disagree. Then she tweeted this out. Then she says the White House called her management back and said that they weren't too happy about her being so
Pause it.
public about
Pause it
this.
right there.
All right.
That's already weird, right?
Yeah.
One, why
I think
would
it's
you wanna
weird.
meet-
Why is the White
Why
House
would you
want
want
to
to meet with her?
Yeah.
The media's already doing your footwork. They're trying to make her look crazy. They're already fact checking it. Why do they want to meet her, for one?
Well, I'll tell you why I think it's because Nicki Minaj is an influential person amongst the young people. So she's got 20 million followers. The White House doesn't want any celebrity pushing anything other than the narrative. Ned Pepper says, what's funny, sad, is that on commercials for prescription medication, they have to literally say all the potential side effects. But for this vaccine, if you talk about potential side effects, you get blacklisted and ridiculed and told to shut up and fact-checked and banned on social
You're
media.
not going to see any commercials for the COVID vaccine because they have to say the side effects of drugs and commercials.
Yeah,
It'd
that's
be too long to
interesting.
even do. Yeah.
You know, I'm surprised there haven't been commercials. I wonder if that's the reason.
I'm sure they'd come up with some stupid rule change.
Exception. Yeah. But that's a good point, Ned Pepper.
Yep.
Because you can't dare say anything against these
people die
vaccines.
from this. And when people do die, and there's cases like the BBC reporter that does, they just turn it into, well, yes, but the odds of getting the odds of getting a blood clot from COVID is way higher.
Yeah, which is
but you're
bullshit.
still playing Russian roulette.
And it's
By
also
force-
bullshit. As far as the odds of a young person dying of COVID is zero, almost.
You're
Almost
forcing
zero.
young people to play Russian roulette by mandating this vaccine.
Right. And then maybe if you're getting
And
COVID,
you're infantilizing people. People could look, you're supposed to be able to look at the pros and cons of this and do what they think's best.
right.
And live with their decisions. And
Right.
they're taking that away because they think they know better. And there's that narrative. And it's funny that I bring this up too. Legally, they couldn't really do many mask mandates because the government really can't pass laws just to protect just you, or they're not supposed to. So like Shakes are like, no, the mask doesn't protect you; it protects other people.
right.
They're trying to turn that in with the vaccine now too. Like, oh, you're going to protect other people by getting it, but we know that's not the case.
No, it's not the case at all. So it's really weird. There's almost no benefit to getting this vaccine. If you're old, if you're very old, maybe there's benefit. If you're young, there's no
if
benefit.
you're old, it shows that it does. If you're in the categories where you are more likely to die from COVID, it looks like this vaccine works for you.
Yeah, and that's about it.
But it's not needed for kids.
no,
That's
God. And they're pushing so hard for kids to get it, dude.
Yeah. But it's
Make it ban.
suspicious to me that
Sweetheart,
they
when
want
they
to
ate-
meet
Sweetheart,
her,
Whoops.
by the way.
Say that
It's
again.
suspicious to me that they wanted to meet Nicki Minaj on this. I think you're right. They're probably thinking that she's an influencer. What are they going to say? What are they going to say that has already been said? Are they going to bribe her? Are they going to threaten
I think
her?
they're going to try to convince her that, like, oh, you need to change your ideas and push the vaccine for us because your influence could really, save a lot of lives.
You think they had
Although-
Run DMC and everyone there going, Nikki, it's not the time to ask questions. She doesn't even say to not get the vaccine. She says, don't be bullied.
Yeah, she
which
says
is
pray
good
on
advice
it. I know.
all the time.
But that's too. They're going to want her to bully people. Go tell people they're dumb if they don't do what we
They're
say.
doing a good job if you're on the fence of pushing you away from getting this vaccine. Do you see CNN is running over and over and over a fully vaccinated lady who's vaccinated for like 5 or 6 months died of COVID, and they're trying to blame unvaccinated people for it?
How do they get away with that, dude?
I don't know.
They've turned. I mean,
I don't know.
a substantial amount of the population will blame the unvaccinated for vaccinated
before this
people dying.
vaccine
I don't
came
I
out-
don't get the logic even.
Before this vaccine came out, I was I couldn't wait for the COVID vaccine, and I was going to get it. I couldn't wait because I'm around people all the time. I see literally 50 people every day, different people every single day. And I'm not going to change my lifestyle type of thing. I can't wait to get this vaccine. I can't wait, even if it just gives me a little bit of protection. There's so many red flags thrown up. There's no fucking way at this point.
Oh no,
Fauci's
no
lied
kidding.
at every corner,
Yeah.
or at every turn. There just the society pressure on this. It's like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Oh man, and that's not even to mention all the actual bad side effects, all the unknowns that are like really scary and weird.
And if they would not lie and just say, here's the side effects,
Are you out of your fucking
here's what it looks like if you don't get the vaccine, there is still probably a decent chance they could convince me. But
Yeah.
there is 0% chance because they're lying to us nonstop.
Dude, just because we're talking about the side effects and all this shit, I wasn't necessarily going to show this video, but this is some doctor in Ohio, okay? And he talks about, I don't know if it's Ohio.
Goodbye your license, by the way.
To this guy? Yeah, he's in trouble.
Sure.
But he talks about, he basically says he thinks the vaccines are causing cancers, and he explains how. So let's just play it, all right?
But what we're seeing in the laboratory after people get these shots, we're seeing a very concerning, locked-in, low profile of these important killer T cells that you want in your body. It's almost a reverse HIV. In HIV, you lose your helper T cells, your CD4 cells. In this virus, post-vaccine, what we're seeing is a drop in your killer T cells, your CD8 cells. And what do CD8 cells do? They keep all other viruses in check. What am I seeing in the laboratory? I'm seeing an uptick of herpes family viruses. I'm seeing herpes. I'm seeing shingles. I'm seeing mono. I'm seeing a huge uptick in human papillomavirus in the cervical biopsies and the cervical pap smears in women. In addition to that, there's a little infectious bump that kids get called molluscum contagiosum. What do you need to keep that in check? You need CD8 killer T cells. I am seeing a 20 times increase in individuals over the age of 50 of this little bump and rash. That's innocuous, but what it tells me is the immune status of these individuals who have gotten the shot. We're literally weakening the immune system of these individuals. Now, most concerning of all is there's a pattern of these types of immune cells in the body that keep cancer in check. Well, since January 1, in the laboratory, I have seen a 20 times increase of endometrial cancers over what I see on an annual basis.
So he basically says
I'd be pretty quick to see that, but
it's dropping killer T cells. And it's funny to me that he mentions that it's kind of like a reverse HIV. Instead of getting rid of this other kind of immune cell, it gets rid of killer T cells because the vaccine uses an HIV fucking protein or something, some kind of HIV transmit method in the vaccine to do what the vaccine does.
you know what's kind of interesting about all this is that now they're finally kind of admitting, I think, that if you have COVID, you're more likely to you're more protected than the vaccine, because that wasn't the talking point. The talking point was if you have COVID,
Right.
it doesn't matter. You need this vaccine. So they're finally admitting that. It feels like
I've got a clip of Fauci admitting that.
My wife got COVID. I think I said that on the air, and hers wasn't a bad case. It was a bad cold. I think she had like 1 or 2 days that kind of sucked. But they told us, of course, to go and quarantine from her. I stayed home from work and everything, but me and my daughter didn't quarantine from her. Part of me was kind of hoping, like, maybe we'll just all get this over with.
Oh, it's way better for you.
Normal.
Yep.
And so we didn't quarantine from her, and neither of us got it. But we also never quit going outside. And my daughter take vitamin D every day. And, we don't like to think that we're healthy. So we never got it. And I actually went recently and see if I had the antibodies for it, because I never changed my lifestyle. I kept doing jiu-jitsu with tons of people, and a lot of people I did jiu-jitsu with got COVID. My wife got COVID. I still worked every day, and at work I see tons of people. People would call in and say, hey, I just got to tell you, I was in there yesterday, but I have COVID now. I was kind of hoping to get it early, get it over with. A couple of my friends did, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny how natural immunity is almost now banned to talk about too, really.
I know, because it destroys the vaccine narrative. Because look, the study out of Israel recently showed that natural immunity was like 20 times better than the vaccine as far as outcome.
I hate to admit this, Ned, but I don't know. But I almost wonder if there's you'll hear stuff like 25-year-old goes home to see parents, and his cousins and his grandparents and his parents all died, and he lived. So it almost feels like there's a familial thing about this. I would say that, I didn't act any different when this happened. My parents did for a while, but then they kind of said, screw it. If I die seeing family, whatever, I'm not going to do this anymore. So my parents kind of quit changing their life due to COVID and stuff. I have a lot of friends that got COVID. Not a single one of my brothers got it. My parents didn't get it. Nobody in my family tree got COVID.
Huh.
And like I said, I didn't change anything. I kind of wonder if there's a familial thing about this. My wife did, of course, but my kids didn't. And my wife, I'm obviously not blood related to. So I think there must be something familial here.
My story is very similar to yours. Lots of exposure, but never got it. I've heard that O negative, like me, aren't getting it, or at least less likely.
I think I am.
I've heard something like that. Could be.
Yeah, I think I am O negative.
That's interesting.
But like I said, it would be nice if science was basically uncorked to actually look at stuff. I think that they would get canceled if they tried to say, look, we think there might be something in people's DNA that doesn't let them get COVID or whatever it is. I think they get canceled.
Probably because it would discourage the vaccine.
About wearing masks and getting the vaccine.
Yeah.
Did you see there's a hot mic on the Israeli health minister, and she admitted that the vaccine passport and the lockdowns don't help, but they're to put pressure on unvaccinated to get vaccinated. You hear that?
No, I haven't.
Got caught in the hot mic.
Oh my
Let me
God.
bring that. It's not in English, but tons of people that speak the language were coming and saying that's exactly what she's saying there.
Okay.
So I think that you get canceled for that. And it's kind of what happened after the vaccine. Vaccinated people and stuff. COVID cheerleaders were mad that the CDC came out and said you don't have to wear masks anymore because they're thinking, well, people are lying. Who cares? If you're vaccinated, who cares, obviously?
It doesn't keep you from getting COVID. It doesn't stop you from transmitting COVID, but it's important for ending COVID. I'm sorry, fucktard Fauci, you're not convincing me.
And
no
it's
shit.
just like
so
like the
weird.
Merrick's disease that we talked about in Chickens that show. It's the same thing.
I know.
Obviously a leaky
I'm
vaccine.
so suspicious of this thing, man.
Yeah.
It looks like it must be trying to kill us all somehow. It's the only thing that makes sense why they're pushing it so hard.
We talked about this too with Joe Rogan. Obviously he got COVID, did the ivermectin and the hydro and stuff. By the way, I'm actually looking at getting some hydro and some ivermectin here.
Me too.
At worst, it does nothing. The side effects of those drugs aren't that bad. They're trying to act like, well, people are taking horse amounts of ivermectin. Well, I won't. I'm not fucking retarded.
Yeah, I'll
I
take
won't do
human
that.
amounts.
How about that?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have that just in case I do start feeling sick or losing my taste. I'll treat this early with it. But Rogan said he was out with his friend who's double vaccinated for a couple of months, and they got way sicker than he did, and he's not vaccinated. So it's kind of
Dude,
interesting.
natural immunity is better in like a million ways. First of all, one of the ways is the vaccine is against a specific spike protein on the virus, okay? Natural immunity is against all of the proteins on the virus. So it gives you much, that's why people with natural immunity have much better resistance to the variants. Natural immunity is better in every way than the vaccine. And they've kind of always said that. You know, they've tried not to talk about it as much as possible, but it's obvious. The one
That's kind
thing
of what I was getting at.
Yeah.
I feel jealous of my wife who got COVID because no matter what variants come out, she doesn't worry about it.
She's good.
She's got this. Yeah.
And dude, the one thing that they've always said, because people would say, well, isn't natural immunity better? And they would say, well, maybe, but we don't know how long natural immunity lasts. So you should still get vaccinated because maybe it's longer. But we didn't know how long a vaccine immunity lasted either. And guess what? It lasts about 6 months. We found out, which is why you got to get boosters. Natural immunity, guess how long that lasts? We're still not sure, but it's probably 90 fucking years. You know what I mean?
You know, it's kind of funny because
Pisses me
if you're
off.
looking at some countries already, they're calling you not vaccinated until 2 weeks after your second vaccine. And you're only vaccinated for 5 months after your first vaccine, basically.
Oh, they're already calling people.
You have a narrow window of when you're considered fully vaccinated.
They're already calling double jab people not vaccinated in a lot of these countries because you have to have the booster. And that's going to be in forever. So every day that passes, I feel like a genius for not getting this fucking weird
pretty
vaccine.
convenient for big pharma. I'm looking at, I like watching the stock prices of these. One of what we talked about is NVAX because their vaccine for some reason hasn't been approved yet and stuff. There's a Lancet journal came out basically questioning the need for boosters, and their stock plummeted. These pharma companies that do the vaccines, they plummeted that day because there's the idea that we're not reliant on them twice a year for the rest of our life.
Oh yeah.
But you'll hear COVID cheerleaders and liberals say, "What's the big deal? I get my flu vaccine every year." Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, you're dumb too.
Fuck your flu vaccine.
Yeah. I'd rather have the flu. I'd rather have COVID than the vaccine. Let's listen to these evil bastards talk about this for a second, Garrett. It's only a minute.
And just real quickly, there was a study that came out of Israel about natural immunity, and basically the headline was that natural immunity provides a lot of protection, even better than the vaccines alone. What are people to make of that? So as we talk about vaccine mandates, I get calls all the time. People say, "I've already had COVID, I'm protected," and now the study says maybe even more protected than the vaccine alone. Should they also get the vaccine? How do you make the case to them?
You know, that's a really good point, Sanjay. I don't have a really firm answer for you on that. That's something that we're going to have to discuss regarding the durability of the response. The one thing the paper from Israel didn't tell you is whether or not, as high as the protection is with natural infection, what's the durability compared to the durability of a vaccine. So it is conceivable that you got infected, you're protected, but you may not be protected for an indefinite period of time. So I think that...
Okay, so he still just says it doesn't tell you how long it is. So he highlights the one question.
Well, basically, he's saying boosters forever. There's what he's really saying.
Oh, he's trying
if
to.
you read between those lines, he's just saying, we can do boosters of vaccines and we can't have COVID.
But even he had to basically admit, natural immunity is super great, but I don't have a firm answer, saying I don't know how to refute that.
I bet they start putting COVID vaccine and common flu vaccine. So NVAX, who, like I said, they're not approved yet, but they've gotten billions of dollars from the government. They're not approved yet. Their big factor, setting them apart was that they were going to do the seasonal flu and COVID in one. Way back when, before there was boosters, they said, we're going to do 2 in 1. We're going to distribute this every year. And now the shareholders are pissed because it was Merck or one of the other ones, not Merck.
Got there first.
Basically got there first and said, we're now looking at the flu shot and COVID vaccine mixed. So yeah, I think you're onto something.
Well, it's just so, one thing is, I was never going to get bullied into getting this vaccine. It's easy for me to just tell people go fuck themselves. But especially because I have natural immunity, it's even easier.
Did you have COVID?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I had enough. I think I had COVID. I think I had.
I had it. I've gotten tested. I've been tested at home and at a testing center so many times. I just can't believe I haven't had. I really think it's the vitamin D.
I see no
zinc I take.
I don't know why I would get tested. I don't see a benefit to being tested.
Yeah, you kind of know that you've had it.
Who cares?
You can go get an antibody test.
I guess I could. Did you jam anything up
I
my
did.
nose?
No, it's a finger prick, and you don't really feel it. It's kind of crazy. Like you could tell from that much blood. It's kind of crazy.
Just blows my mind a virus with a 99% plus survival rate is causing all these people to lose.
It's so funny.
I agree. It's unreal.
There's two things they say. Long COVID, which they really can't even
ever
explain, and like they can't even like. You say, okay, what is it? What's the symptoms? What's the etiology of
brain
this? And
fog?
They don't have an answer.
Right.
The two is like, well, for the kids, and you start bringing up like, yeah, but it's the flu is worse for the kids. CDC now says the flu is worse for the kids, but they'll try to say, yeah, but there's flu vaccine. Well, do you know who doesn't get the flu vaccine? Not only not me, not my kids.
Yeah.
So if they're not, if their lives aren't changed because of not getting a flu vaccine, why would COVID change their lives?
Yeah. All this nonsense needs to end, dude. It's so weird.
7-week-old, and COVID has never scared me about either of them.
Oh, no way. They're fine. They'd laugh at COVID. Their immune systems would laugh at COVID. So will everyone under 60, okay?
Do you know when I did get scared once? When my daughter got the flu and her temperature got to 105. I got a little bit scared then, but they're already admitting that flu is worse than COVID for kids. So
yeah, it is. You know what's funny is this little segment by Sarah Silverman kind of applies to this.
You'd have to say.
Basically, look, half of this country is insane. I'm gonna go ahead and call them blue people. They've lost their minds. They are insane. They're morons, and they're authoritarian tyrants. Half of our population. Just dipshits, if you ask me, okay? And now I'll let Sarah Silverman, who is a dipshit, talk for a second.
I mean, this may be a negative thought, or maybe a positive one. I don't know. But if people aren't getting along, like in relationship, they break up, you know? So, like, why don't we just finally just realize that these states aren't working and like divide up into like 2 or 3 countries of like USA 1 and USA 2.
All right, I'll just cut her off there.
How
That's basically the point.
How fucked would the lockdown group be there?
I know.
What would they do?
I would love that.
They're just going to print money, and somehow that printed money gives them something?
I guarantee the left would immediately just start printing money, and their currency would just be shit immediately.
They would try to force the red states to give them food and supplies.
But our country would tell them to go fuck off. Dude, I would look. 2 years ago,
she got your hopes up.
I know, dude. But 2 years ago, I would not have supported splitting up the country. Okay, but now I've got morons that want to hold me down and jab me with a needle, and I'm willing to go have a civil war against mandatory vaccines.
I think it has to happen at this point. I still think the powder keg. We're in a powder keg. I'm convinced.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that could cause this to go crazy would be mandating this for kids, and even the most blue people. When their kid starts getting blood clots or sick, and then they come 5 months later with a booster, it's going to be too much. Even the blue idiots are going to say, that's enough of this.
But that's 6 months.
Russian roulette for my kid is too much.
But right before that, they'll be for it, and they'll make your kid
Absolutely.
get it. Yeah.
My kid not getting COVID vaccine is what they're going to blame their kid getting blood clots from.
Right, dude. So look, half the country's insane. I support her idea of splitting up the country because otherwise I support a civil war, and I'd rather avoid that.
What Boxmar said, I would do I'd play this Russian roulette if it would get rid of these fucking idiots.
Nope.
Oh yeah, I would.
Deal.
No problem.
I
would probably do real Russian roulette with a 1 in 6 shot. If I didn't have kids, I'd probably screw it. I'd rather take that chance of living in a universe where there's term limits.
Okay, but let's talk for a second about splitting the country. We make they get California and the West Coast. Yep. We get at least the middle. I don't know what to do with the East Coast.
Give it to them. Fuck it.
Okay, but maybe that's 3 countries. Maybe it's 2, and we're surrounded by 2
give
idiots.
Them 2. Yeah, let us just be surrounded by 2 idiots. We'll be fine.
Yeah, we will be fine.
Kind of funny. They look at California. You hear this all the time. Well, California, look how good they do, and they have to get to the red states. There's never been in the history of the universe. You go back to Pangea. You go back to Hunter. There's never been an area on Earth that has so much natural resources and so much opportunity. Just because you have that coastline, everyone wants to live close to the ocean.
Paradise weather. It's
basically, they carved out a thin strip of the area that would be the easiest area in the history of humanity to make super successful, and they're fucking that up. But just because they haven't completely fucked it up yet, that's what they look at. Like, well, look at California. They had a surplus this year. Oh, really? They did?
Yeah, well, wow.
Give it a year.
Yeah, they also have 10 billion homeless people. So
Florida, I convinced Florida's no longer a swing state. Florida's with us.
Yeah, I like that. So ours will look like a, kind of down
into this.
Because we want those southern states down there.
And they'll do this.
Yeah.
They could even take the top. They could take Minnesota and Michigan. They could take some little swing states up there.
If those states want to be out, got good riddance.
Yeah.
Michigan's see, that's kind of the idea is like, if you want to be in the socialist shithole, get the fuck out of our
down with Whitmer and stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone that was locked down would not move. Go ahead.
And just
keep producing and living our life.
Think what a great country the middle and bottom right would be, because we could really embrace capitalism. We could get rid of all this fucking welfare bullshit, We could go to a real solid constitution where they're never coming for our guns. And I think it would be great. Let's hurry up and do this.
Great.
I'm with Sarah Silverman on this.
It will never happen because it will expose how terrible big government is. That's why.
Yeah.
We'll just expose it.
And I think that the blue would suddenly go, wait,
homeless would be way higher.
Off of?
They already blame homeless on, well, people that are homeless in Iowa just go to California. Yeah, sure. They drive there in their fucking Lexuses, you goddamn idiots. But they always act like, well, it's just nice weather, so the homeless go because we take care of them. No, it's because of your insane draconian policies. But like crime would be way down because it's basically legalized in California now. Murders would be way down. Homelessness would be way down.
Oh, our country
living off the government's teat would be way down.
Oh, yeah, crime.
Prosperity would be way up.
Honestly, we would thrive.
Yeah, the middle is the food supply.
We'd have all the food. You
would turn in the supply for everything. It'd be turned into, especially now everything's shut down. That would be the supply chain for the entire world. The U.S. produces 10 times as much food per year than the whole Earth consumes. The whole Earth.
Yeah. Which is a shame for that. Really we've got starving people. What a shame.
Absolutely. We don't have a food production problem. We have a supply chain problem, even when it comes to that. We literally have our government putting food in caves to rot and paying farmers to not farm. And we have people starving to death.
One prediction I would make, I make a prediction that like 4 years after the split, the blue state will be trying to attack us.
Yeah.
Because they will have fallen into such shit.
Good luck.
I know.
When Mix comes with a tire or with a bike lock, good luck.
You're
absolutely right.
Here comes the Antifa.
And it would be our fault for some reason.
Oh, exactly. See, they would instantly be in such shitty, dire straits that they'd start going, who can we blame for this? Of course, they would blame the red states, our good country, and they'd come attack us, and then we could wipe them out. It'd be beautiful.
That'd be great.
So
Quit getting me all fired up.
How about that, though? See,
that would be great.
I told you Sarah Silverman had a good point. I kind of like her point there.
She didn't even know it. She's kind of like that. She almost becomes self-aware here.
You're right. She just doesn't realize how horrible her country would be instantly.
Well, Nate, we didn't even get to a single topic we were going to talk about today.
Yeah, we kind of covered Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, true, kinda. Give you anything to play us out on?
You know.
Well, let's pick this up Monday. We have a lot to go over.
Yeah,
Monday.
we got to talk about this teacher.
Got to talk about this guy because that's like our new theme. We got to talk about the terrible parent that made her kid cry for social media.
Yeah.
We got to talk about the puppet master of Biden. We have a lot to talk about.
All right, here's a video we can play it out with. This is a footage of someone from the blue state, the new blue country. Okay, and they're working on training for the blue army here. Okay, so here's a video of it. By the way, it's a little bit graphic. If you don't want to watch something graphic, you might want to turn away. But here's a Democrat trying to use a firearm, okay?
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.
I don't mean to laugh at it, okay? But it's so Homer Simpson.
God, I got to find it. I told you the guy that put his hand in front of it.
I tried to find that to go with this. Like his hat falls off. I mean, he's
doing it like it's a squirt gun. It's like, what do you think's going to happen there? Is your hand going to catch the bullet?
Yeah. Anyway, maybe kind of a macabre video to play there.
Oh, well, I think thanks for sticking with us, Box Barn Ned.
Yeah.
We're at 20 minutes of lost audio. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are going to rewatch the replay, the regulars. They're probably not going to get this far because they're going to think that we were talking on mute the whole time.
Yeah, no kidding. I feel kind of dumb for that.
Second half is a little better than the first half. Yeah,
we have a lot of technical difficulties here at the Nate and Garrett Show.
We just need to get affiliate. We need to start making some money. We need to hire people to do this for us.
That would make it easier. Well, yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out.
See
thanks,
you guys
Box
Monday.
Yep.
We might do a Saturday show, but Nate might be out of town.
Yeah.
If we do, it'll be a special, and it'll be just as good on the rewatch as it would be live, probably.
And I might be out of town on Monday, so maybe Garrett will do a solo show.
Maybe I'll do a solo show on Monday.
We'll see.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out.
Hey, guys.
Peace.
Yeah, had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. Truth bombs that many never knew. We talking politics, everything up to the moon. Was the landing real or fake? I guess you'll never know. Let's talk, this is the Nate and Garrett Show, yeah. So lend me your ear, let's get it poppin'. You know that we keep it live, non-stopping. Educating, entertain, there ain't no doubt. After you listen, you'll be thinking way outside the box. From media dishonesty, never let them play you. Keep it authentic nowadays, many can't do. Unfiltered is how we do it. Make sure you stay locked in and tuned in, let's go. Had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. The Nate